All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are cracking the code on VCE English Section B, the creative writing part. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the official marking criteria and show you exactly what assessors are looking for and, more importantly, how you can give it to them.
So let's just cut through all the jargon for a minute. What really separates a decent response from an amazing one? I'll give you a hint. It's not about writing the most complicated story or using the biggest words you can find. It's actually about understanding the game you're playing.
To get our heads around this, we're going to use a single metaphor for this whole explainer. Think of your response as building a masterpiece. It's not just a random collection of good sentences, it's a single, solid structure where the foundation, the walls, and the roof all have to work together perfectly.
So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the overall blueprint. Then, we'll get into laying the foundation with your ideas. After that, we're building the main structure with your voice, adding the finishing touches with language, and finally, we'll do one last inspection. Sound good? Let's get building. First up, the blueprint. To succeed here, you have to get inside the assessors' heads. And for them, the most important word you need to know is holistic. What does holistic actually mean? Well, it means assessors are not just ticking off boxes on a checklist. They're looking at your writing as a complete picture. They want to see how your ideas, your voice, and your language all weave together to create one single powerful piece. Every part is connected. And this slide, this is huge. It shows you the flow of how they mark. It's not three separate things. It's more like a pyramid. Everything is built from the ground up. The quality of your ideas, that's EQ1, is the foundation. And it literally sets the potential, the ceiling for how high you can score in the other two areas. And here's the crucial takeaway. If your main idea is too simple, it creates what the assessors call a low cognitive load. That means even if you write it beautifully, there's a hard limit on your overall mark. You just haven't given yourself enough complex material to really show off your voice and language skills.
So, okay, if that foundation is so important, how do we make sure it's solid? Well, in Section B, it all starts the second you pick your title. Everything rests on the quality of your ideas.
The official VCE assessment report tells us this directly. The best responses, the ones that get the top marks, don't just throw the title in somewhere. No, they build their entire piece around it. The title is the central pillar holding everything up.
Now, this is such a great example of what we're talking about. A literal interpretation, writing a simple story about a board game, is fine, but it's limiting. A high-scoring response digs deeper. It uses the game as a metaphor to explore something bigger, like the rules and structures of life, tying it all back to the framework. It finds the meaning behind the prompt. And listen, here are the hard and fast rules. They are non-negotiable. Your title is fixed. It sets the boundaries of your playground. And once you choose a title, you are locked into that specific framework of ideas. You cannot, I repeat, cannot mix and match. That's a critical mistake to avoid. Okay, our foundation is poured and solid. Now it's time to build the main structure, your authorial voice. This is all about how you shape your ideas and actually connect with your reader. Your voice has to have a clear mission, a goal, and you've got to choose one of these 4 approved purposes. Are you trying to explain something complex, express a powerful emotion, reflect on an experience, or argue a specific point of view? Every single word you write should serve that purpose. So here's the thing about voice. A powerful voice isn't just about putting on a costume and pretending to be some character. It's about you, the writer, making smart, deliberate choices. It's about how you structure your text, the kinds of sentences you use, the vocabulary you pick. Those are the bricks and mortar of your voice. All right, the foundation's there, the structure is up. Now it's time for the finishing touches, the polish. This is all about using language not just correctly, but with real precision and power. You have to love this phrase from the assessors. Poorly applied polysyllabic nomenclature. It's a fancy way of saying, are you just using big words to sound smart? Because trust me, they see right through that. And it usually just makes your writing confusing, not impressive. The goal is always, always communication. Your language needs to serve your ideas. It should make them sharper, clearer, more resonant. So choose the right word, not just the longest one in the dictionary. Your masterpiece is nearly done, but before you put your tools down, there's one last, absolutely vital inspection. You have to think about your audience. And here's the twist in Section B. You actually have 2 of them. See, you might be writing a personal essay for a literary journal, and that's your primary audience. But you can't forget your secondary audience, the anonymous assessor who is grading your work for a public exam. Your piece has to succeed with both.
And this right here is exactly what that secondary audience, the assessor, is looking for. They expect maturity. They want to see that you are in complete control of your writing, making deliberate choices. That means steering clear of easy cliches, over-the-top drama, and instead showing real nuance and a strong sense of what we call authorial agency. So let's bring it all back to that holistic blueprint. When your solid foundation of ideas supports a compelling voice, and it's all polished with precise language, and it's built for a specific purpose and audience, that's when your masterpiece is complete. Every single part has to support the whole. And that's our explainer on cracking the code for VCE English Section B. You've got the plans, you've got the tools, you know the techniques. The only real question left is the one you see on the screen. Now, go build something impressive.